What you're looking at here is an x-ray of a lower back and a pelvis. And it's a great example of why it is x-rays can be a really useful component of a chiropractic exam. There's a lot going on in this x-ray. There's some bone density issues, signs of instability, but the biggest issue you can see is how uneven her hips are. And that's not just how she's standing. So compare this x-ray here to this one. Now back again. And one more time. This is a 72-year-old woman who's been living with an anatomically short leg by a long shot. When she said that when she was growing up in primary school, she had an orthopedic shoe, but then by the time she got to high school, there was no way she was going to wear, those big ugly shoes that you can, the nude colored shoes, orthopedic shoes that you think of your grandmother wearing. She wasn't having it, and she hasn't worn anything to level out her pelvis since she was in high school. She's now 72 years old. And it's had a really damaging effect on her pelvis, her hips, and her spine. So the question is, what is the plan now? If you take a look at the second x-ray, this one here, what I did is I put in a block, some styrofoam pads measuring about 1 3/4 inches, and that was enough to bring her pelvis level and even reducing some of the instability in her spine. But to correct her spine all in one shot could prove too difficult to do it all in one shot, so we're going to do it in stages over the next several months. The options for shoes now and to create a lift can be color matched, so they don't look like grandma's shoes anymore. And unless you're really looking, you'd never tell the difference. To go along with lifting up and leveling out her pelvis, part of the plan is also to render some very gentle chiropractic adjustments to open up her spine to allow for this correction to take place. Because if we do this lift without removing restrictions in the spine, it's going to create new tension points, and she's going to go from having back pain to 10x back pain. Nobody needs that. And finally, a strengthening program. All her muscles and ligaments are used to being short on one side and long on the other. And the relative strength of muscles from one side of her spine to the other is completely unbalanced. So a strengthening program is an essential part of getting this energetic senior back on her feet. I'm Dr. Paul Grew, chiropractor, Maryville Road, right here in Ottawa.